Hello, Lana. I'm delighted to welcome you for our continuing lessons in human resource management under the manifested learning platform. And today we are looking at the subunit human resource administration in the human resource management subject. And our lesson today is focused on employee discipline. As you are aware, employees are expected to adhere to certain rules, certain regulations. So one of the administrative roles you are likely to play, or as an employee, you are likely to observe the disciplinary code of conduct in any given organization. So in our topic today, which is an interesting area in human resource administration, we are going to look at employee discipline. And employee discipline is described as the process of correcting undesirable behavior. Correcting undesirable behavior. And the goal of a workplace discipline process should be to help the employee meet performance expectations. The employee is in the workplace because of certain performance expectations. And that's why workplace discipline process is meant to help that kind of an employee or employees meet that performance. And it is recommended as a good practice that an organization should formulate and adopt an employee discipline policy. An employee discipline policy will help an organization to be consistent with its implementation. And dear learner, it's very critical to note that employee discipline is described as the process of correcting undesirable behavior, and the goal of a workplace discipline process should be to help the employee meet performance expectations, and an organization should formulate and adopt an employee discipline policy. So in our lesson today, dear learner, we are going to look at 4 areas. We are going to look at causes of indiscipline. We are going to look at measures to maintain workplace discipline. We are going to look at some of the examples of minor misconduct in a work environment. And we are also going to look at major misconduct in a work environment. So we are going to start with causes of indiscipline. Causes of indiscipline. Causes of indiscipline. One may want to find out or maybe ask themselves, why would there be indiscipline in a work environment? What could be some of the causes? So one of the causes of indiscipline could be, one, that work environment has what you call poor leadership. Poor leadership. So who are the leaders? The leaders could be the supervisors. The leaders could be managers within a work environment. So where there is poor leadership, that could maybe lead to indiscipline. People may do things the way they want because there is no leadership as far as maintaining discipline is concerned. Then maybe violation of employee rights. Violation of employee rights. Violation of employee rights, where employees have certain rights and they feel that these rights have been compromised, that could lead to indiscipline. Then number 3, bias. Bias in work allocation. Bias in work allocation. Number 4, delays. Delays in providing employee pay. And then 5, lack of adequate work equipment. And then number 6, poor communication. And then number 7, lack of welfare services. So what we are saying here, if employees don't have access to welfare services, then those kind of employees could go maybe for lunch and they don't have a canteen in the workplace. They take too long. So when they come, they are beyond the reporting, maybe time for maybe joining a shift. So that again could be. Then number 8, divide and rule tactics. Divide and rule approach, call it divide and rule approach. So sometimes the organization maybe could divide workers into groups and so on. So when workers are maybe done that way, then workers sometimes could lead into indiscipline and so on. Then you could also have maybe faulty work equipments. Number 9, faulty work equipment. So here, if the worker's equipment keeps on, for example, breaking down, so that could also lead to maybe issues of indiscipline. Now, that is as far as the causes of indiscipline are concerned. We have talked about poor leadership, violation of employee rights, bias in terms of work allocation, maybe favorism, delays in providing employee pay, lack of adequate work equipment, poor communication, lack of welfare services, divide and rule in terms of approaches for workers, faulty work equipment. So these are some of the issues that may cause indiscipline in a work environment. So what are some of the measures to maintain workplace discipline? Measures to maintain workplace discipline. Measures to maintain workplace discipline. So what are some of the measures that an organization may institute to ensure that that organization can maintain workplace discipline? So one of them could be formulation and implementation. One, formulation and implementation of a code of conduct. An organization can formulate and implement a code of conduct. Some organizations have this information maybe in a booklet, and that booklet is given to the workers, and workers can go through it and so on. You could also have rules. Number 2, flexible rules and regulations. You could also involve employees in formulating a discipline policy. Number 4, training employees on their duties. Number 5, provision of welfare services. Number 6, creation of a conducive work atmosphere. Number 7, workplace counseling. Number 8, allowing employees to take annual leave so that workers can also be able to recuperate and so on. Number 9, proper maintenance of work tools work tools. Number 10, effective communication channels. Effective communication channels. So basically, some of the measures that may be taken to be able to maintain workplace discipline. The formulation and implementation of a code of conduct is very critical. Flexible rules and regulations should be provided within a work environment. Employees should be involved in setting a disciplinary, so that they are members and they are part of the process and they know this is what is expected of them. Training employees on their duties so that employees can be able to perform their duties effectively and so on. Provision of welfare services, creation of a conducive work environment, workplace counseling, allowing employees to take annual leave so that they can rest and recuperate and so on, proper maintenance of maybe working tools and so on, effective communication. And then number 11, proper leadership and supervision, proper leadership and supervision of staff, so that workers can see managers are leading by example. So these ones are some of the measures, dear learner, that can be taken to be able to at least maintain workplace discipline and so on. Proper communication, involvement of workers in decision making. There could be many others, but these are just some. So learner, we want now to look at some of the minor misconduct. Minor misconduct. You have minor misconduct. Minor misconduct. Minor misconduct. In a work environment, an employee may behave in a manner that could be categorized as a minor misconduct. So what are some of the aspects that may be construed to imply minor misconduct? So you may have a situation where absence from duty could be one minor misconduct. Absence from duty. And this absence maybe is occurring once in a while. It's not perpetual, it's not perennial. Then leaving workplace before time. Leaving a workplace before time. Before time. And then there might be, for example, failure. Failure to keep a work tool in its place. Maybe there is a toolbox where an item is supposed to be kept, and this worker does not keep that particular tool there. Then 4, failure to wear a uniform. An organization may, for example, require on a particular day, an employee has to put on a particular uniform, and that employee does not put on that particular uniform. So this could be categorized as maybe a minor misconduct. And then there is also the issue of careless use of tools. 5, careless use of work tools. So an employee who was supposed to use maybe a hammer and maybe another screwdriver or maybe something else, that worker does not make use of that tool the way it should be used and so on. And then that could be construed as a minor misconduct. There is also maybe abusive language. An employee may use abusive language. So a worker may use a language that may not be categorized as courteous. So that kind of maybe abusive language could be categorized as a minor misconduct in a working environment. The worker may also disruption of other employees. Disruption of other employees. If an employee disrupts other employees, then that one could be construed to be a minor misconduct in a work environment. Employees could be working, and then this particular employee does not give them time. Then there is also the issue of unsatisfactory factory performance. That could also be maybe categorized as a minor misconduct. An employee is not able to perform according to a particular standard, then that one could also be a minor misconduct within the context of discipline in a work environment. So this, dear learner, could be construed or could be categorized depending on an organization as minor misconduct. Then how about a major misconduct? What can be categorized as a major misconduct? Major misconduct. And when it comes to a major misconduct, sometimes you have what you call one, insubordination. So this is a situation where an employee does not adhere to formal instructions given by a supervisor or a superior in a workplace. And this one is considered to be a very serious breach of conduct, and sometimes it may call for what is referred to as a summary dismissal. Then there is the issue of theft by employee. There is the issue also of fraud, where an employee participates in fraudulent activity. There is also maybe criminal activity. Number 5, drug and substance abuse. Drug and substance abuse. There is also the issue of fighting other workers. So where an employee fights other employees, that could be categorized as a very serious offense. Then there is the issue of dishonesty, where an employee is dishonest. Then number 8, falsification of attendance records. Then number 9, perpetual absence from work without authorized leave. Number 10, negative comments regarding employer. So these ones are some negative comments regarding the employer. Failure. Also, you have what you call failure to meet performance standards. Specifically with relation to when the worker was hired, there was a particular standard the worker was supposed to meet. So insubordination, theft by employee, fraud, criminal activity, drug and substance abuse, fighting other workers, dishonesty, falsification of attendance records. There is also the element of willful damage. Of employer's property. So basically, if an employee damages a machine or does something willfully, and that can be confirmed, then that kind of an employee has participated in a major misconduct. So it should be noted that when employees commit minor misconduct, it should attract minor disciplinary action. When an employee commits a major misconduct, that employee should be subjected to a major disciplinary action. So, Lana, the issue of maintaining discipline is a very delicate issue, and how it is done, it must be done progressively, so that you have what you call a progressive disciplinary process where a worker is given caution, a worker is given a warning, and so on. So today we have looked at, in our lesson, employee discipline, where we have said that employee discipline is described as the process of correcting undesirable behavior, and the goal of discipline in a workplace, discipline should be to help an employee meet performance expectations, and an organization should be able to formulate and adopt an employee discipline policy for consistency. And in our lesson today, dear learner, we have looked at the causes of indiscipline in a work environment. We have also looked at measures to maintain workplace discipline. We have also looked at minor misconduct, and we have also looked at major misconduct. So the causes of indiscipline in a workplace may include: 1, poor leadership; 2, violation of employee rights; 3, bias in work allocation; 4, delays in providing employee pay; 5, lack of adequate equipment; 6, poor communication; 7, lack of welfare services; 8, divide and rule approach by employer; 9, faulty work equipment. So those are some of the causes of indiscipline in a work environment. Now, how about the measures to maintain discipline in a workplace? What should be done? So 1, formulation of and implementation of a code of conduct; 2, flexible rules and regulations; 3, involve employees in formulating a discipline policy; 4, training employees on their duties; 5, provision of welfare services. Then you have 6, creation of a conducive work atmosphere or environment; 7, workplace counseling; 8, allow employees to take annual leave to recuperate and rest; 9, proper maintenance of work tools; 10, effective communication channels; number 11, proper leadership and supervision of staff. Those could be some of the measures that could be taken to maintain workplace discipline. Now, what are some of the examples of minor misconduct? So here we indicated that: 1, absence from duty; 2, leaving a workplace before time; 3, failure to keep work tools in their places; 4, failure to wear uniform; 5, careless use of work tools; 6, abusive language; 7, disruption of other employees; and 8, unsatisfactory performance. So, Lana, these are some of the minor misconduct aspects that we have looked at that may accrue in a work environment. Now, what are some of the major misconduct? We indicated that insubordination is number 1 of the major misconduct issues. Then 2, theft by employee. Then 3, fraud. Then 4, criminal activity. Then 5, drug and substance abuse. Then 6, fighting other workers. Then 7, dishonesty. Then 8, falsification of attendance records. 9, perpetual absence from work without authorized leave. Number 10, negative comments regarding the employer. Number 11, failure to meet performance standards. Number 12, willful damage of employer's property. So, Lana, those could be some of the minor and major areas of misconduct in a work environment. And we have indicated that when it comes to a work environment, minor misconduct should attract minor disciplinary action. Major misconduct should attract major disciplinary action. But what is central in disciplinary action disciplinary action should be given on the merit of each case. So before we finish off, you have your assignment for your lesson today, and your assignment, dear learner, is assignment discuss the causes of indiscipline in a work environment. So your assignment, dear learner, discuss the causes of indiscipline in a work environment. So we have come to the end of yet another very important area in human resource administration, where we were dealing with employee discipline as our lesson today under our continuing lessons in human resource management subject on the platform of Manifested Publishers platform. And I want to take this chance to thank you very much for being attentive and participating in our lessons. Thank you.